Okay, before we get into this race, I just need to address the audio. Basically, instead of recording gameplay, voice chat, and my microphone, I was recording gameplay and the voice chat twice, which is why everyone sounds like they're speaking from the bottom of a well, so GG me.
Alright boys, I can be my usual fuel gobbling self.
Not as aggressive as that.
Brandon needs to get past his bozos in front.
So this means I can rev out the whole race because I'm gonna end on like 7 liters.
Well, it depends if you crash or not.
Fortunately, it was something I fixed for Baku, but that race, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. We've been on board with my fastest Q2 lap so far. I kinda got held up a bit on my second run, but whatever. It was good enough for yet another 4th on the grid. It's lights out then for the Spanish Grand Prix. Alfie gets a great start, very much in the slipstream of Scott as I move over to give room. It's a long run down to turn 1 and he's able to do me round the outside, leaving me to slot into 5th, sandwiched between the two Team Tepper cars. Spin is notoriously abrasive on the tyres, especially through turn 3, so for now I'm just focusing on making sure that the front left doesn't go through a tougher time than it needs to, at least for the first few laps. Just a quick check in on my teammate now. Lap 10 now, we've been consistent enough to keep Brandon behind us until I get just a little bit on the outside curb there. I lost 2 or 3 tenths and that was enough to give Brandon an opportunity to look down the inside with a hairpin. He backs out, but on the main straight with DRS and slipstream, it's a pretty easy move. I was fairly lucky to have dropped out of Alfie's dirty air while Brandon was well and truly stuck in mine. Next lap I've got DRS, but I'm way too cautious on the brakes and Brandon's able to just ease past. Now I'm in the dirty air and he has a fairly clear track ahead. At the end of lap 12, the Vulcan peels into the pits and I carry on to see if there's any time to be gained from an overcut. I shouldn't worry too much though, since
I think I might have sped in the pit lane.
due to pit stops ahead, Alfie's now inherited the lead, and since I'm reaching the end of the tyres at this point, I might as well push until I pit. That tyre saving earlier really paid off, since we're now right on the back of Alfie on lap 15. He comes into the pits for his first stop and we've been given DRS as we inherit the lead. At the end of lap 16, we come in for a set of hards. This was a bad call to be honest, since I ended up having to stop again for softs that were barely warm by the end of the race, so I should have really gone on mediums. That's still to come though. For now we emerge from the pits just ahead of Alfie, which means we've managed to make the overcut work, promoting us to 4th. Scott's over 16 seconds ahead, so it looks like P4 is the best we're gonna get. Still, could be worse.
And I've just fucking spun and lost my front wing.
With DRS it's pretty easy for Alfie to overtake into turn 1. I return the favour next lap and it's P4 again. At this point I start to pull away. It's not all smooth sailing for me though. For some reason I kept getting screen freezes pretty regularly actually, costing me about 2 tenths each time. I was pretty much driving around until the end of lap 37 when I came in for my second stop. We're on the sauce for the last 9 or so laps with 10 seconds to Cozzy behind and 17 to Scott ahead, so place your bets I guess. Many laps later I come home for 4th in what I thought would be my quietest race of the season. Oh, how wrong I was. Here we are then, in Azerbaijan. It started off fine, I qualified 3rd. It should have really been 4th again, but somehow the back of grid.
Oh! Fucking hell. Holy fucking hell. Considering how dangerous that was not that as
I mean the pit lane.
That's the gains I'm looking for.
Fuck's sake. Oh, leading by 50 seconds, let's push the pit lane like that.
We're on the grid now, lights out and away we go. Looks like I get a slightly better start than Scott as we approach turn 1. I go for a cutback but Nick locks up and collects Scott. I have to quickly avoid the carnage, getting this close to Nick in the process. Having a look at the replay you can see the total annihilation just about any way you look at turn 1. Shockingly I've come out of this having gained a position with no damage. But as we start lap 2 Scott's already re-overtaking me. I try to hang it round the outside but it's a fruitless effort since he's well alongside for turn 2. Moving on to the end of lap 5, and now Sam, from the back of the grid, is about to pass me for 3rd. And would you look at that, I'm in 4th with a massive gap behind and no hope of moving forward. All I have to do is not replicate what I did last season by grabbing the inside curb and spinning here, which I almost do. Not only that, but braking for turn 3, I get on the curb and nearly spin there. The leaders pit in at the end of lap 12 and I'm up into 1st.
Max is in the lead of the race. No, I need to lead every lap.
Yeah.
Give me that slam.
I'm gonna pit on
Come
like
back
lap
here.
30. Then
Max
take
is
off
absolutely one-stopping.
It's short-lived though, since under a lap later, as we go to cross the line, Craig retakes the lead. Lap 16, Scott re-overtakes. Lap 18, Sam re-overtakes. Lap 24, I finally come into the pits for my one and only stop onto softs, emerging with that 52-second gap surrounding me.
It's nice to... It... kill me.
At this point I started to feel pretty weird, sort of dizzy. Here, I'll give you an idea what it was like driving around like this. Here we are then, final lap. We're 1.3 seconds up on our previous best because why not? Coming across the line to finish about a minute behind Sam.
Are you ready to get penetrated, Brandon?
I really need to
I'm
tighten that fucking bolt
16.
up. There's a bolt that's loose on the wheel.
FBI.
Right, guys, come on. This is gonna be on a video.
It's
mind
Max
me.
Lister's channel, it's fine.
Yeah, to be fair, he has like one viewer and that's me.